Hello everyone, myself Gaurav Kulkarni, and today I'll be sharing some information regarding the non-access modifiers in Java. So first of all, we will understand what is meant by the modifier. So modifier is nothing but it is a keyword that that let us access the our class and its members, its scope or its behavior in a certain situation. So by using the modifiers, we can control which class or object should has access to certain members or certain variables in a particular situation. So that we have understood that modifiers are generally used for accessing the class and its members. So modifiers, whether it is a access modifier or non-access modifier, it should be written before the variable name starts or methods or object name. So uh, uh, the modifiers fall into two types of group. The first one is the access modifier, which contains the three types of access modifier: the public, private, and protected. And in the second, the non-access modifier. The non-access modifier contains a total 7 types of non-access modifiers. So in Java, in the seventh version of the Java, the non-access modifiers has been introduced to indicate JVM that which class or which method should be accessed on certain conditions or inherit the other classes or not. So non-access modifier are generally used for before moving to non-access modifier, we will take a brief introduction to access modifier. So there are three types of access modifier. First one is the public. When we use the public keyword to the class, or then the scope of the class is you can access the class the public class from anywhere in the library. While when we use a protected or a private keyword for the class, then the scope of the class is limited to its class where the method has been defined, and protected is also the same as private. So we will start looking for non-access modifier. So non-access modifier are generally used to control the behavior behavior regarding the inheritance. So we will check the one by one. The first one is the final non-access modifier. So final non-access modifier is keyword used. We can use the final modifier in class, in methods, local variables, instance variable, and methods with the arguments. So when we use the final keywords with the class, that means final class, then then it will restrict the inheritance of the class of that particular class with the other classes. So that means when we create a class with the final keyword, this class will not be inherited by the other classes. And when we use the keyword final in the method section, then the method can only be that method will indicate the JRE that the particular method should be override or not. So, and again, when we use the keyword final in the variable section, when we use the final as a variable, then the final variable can only be instantiated or only be inherited only once. That means that the final variable cannot be instantiated or inherited twicely. Next, the static the static keyword is also a keyword we can use in method, variables, static blocks, etc. So static is nothing but the static keyword used for the memory management. So the static keyword is the method or the class contains the static are used or treated as a class level, and this keyword is always referenced firstly while loading the class. So when you use as a static as a class, then so as the static keyword is static keyword is treated as a class level. So the static members cannot be called by the object name, so it will always called by the reference name. When we use the statics as a class, then we must understood that the static keyword holds the value of a class. It holds the value of a class level, because when we create a class by the name static, it means the only copy of static keyword is generated, and once we can modify once when we modify for can change some values in the